I'm back now, my fault. Sorry, y'all. Thank you. Yeah, what's up, y'all? Yeah, I guess my shit, I don't know if it's my power supply going up or my, my cooling for my CPU, but at any rate. Yeah, this chat looks dope. Let me open up Chat Arena, because I can't see who's in chat just yet. It's also that this power supply is old. This power supply is, my house, for anyone who doesn't know, my house burned down in 2017. I built this PC after my house burned down, and so that was like coming up on 6 years ago because my house burned down in January 2017. So this power supply is almost 6 years old. So it's just an old power supply. I think it was bronze rated anyway. I cheaped out on my power supply. It's okay. I've been through a lot of shit. Motherfuckers don't understand. I've been through mad shit. Seen mad shit. I'm not even like young with an old soul. I'm straight up just old soul. Fucking 33. Old. I'm hurt. And I work with fucking children. When Aaron Rodgers said that shit, I felt that harder than a lot of people saying a lot of shit. I didn't lose all of my shit. I lost most of my shit. I'm still standing. I'm gonna still continue to stand. Just fuck the haters all day. Hold up, you know what I'm saying? Just bring it all in just cause. Just fuck the haters all day. Fuck them. Moonwalk on the haters. I kind of think like 30s and 40s is like the perfect age. The closer I got to 30, the less attractive anyone under the age of 25 came to me. I caught a battle ban. I wasn't even in a fucking match. Okay. That's all right. Everything goofy to 41 and still look like a toad? Nah, I doubt it. Why somebody would go into the chat just to record? People do all kind of shit in this on this weird ass platform, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like cause I don't know. I can't really speak. I'm not weird. I'm not terminally online. I'm not a goofy. These motherfuckers are the ones who are weird. It's weird as fuck, bro. It's weird, yo. It's the thing that has me the most tight. And I'm just gonna say this, and just cause I'm this tight about it, I'm to the point where like I'm emotional about it. I'm gonna talk reckless about it. Motherfuckers, where the whole reason they did that goofy ass bitch ass shit was because they were mad that their name got mentioned. Motherfuckers are mentioning my name with some police bullshit, with some police calling bullshit, because I happen to be in a call or a woman who is so fucking afraid for her life that a nigga is stalking her that she's got the fucking strap on the computer up underneath of the fucking in Minecraft. You know what I mean? This woman has no clue if this man is gonna pull up on her because he knows her address. You know what I mean? She's unfucking safe. So motherfuckers are mad at me because what am I supposed to do? Drive halfway, 3/4 of the way across the fucking country to camp out at her spot because I'm that ACAB? I gotta stand 10 toes down on that and be 100% against calling the police at all times. I didn't fucking call no fucking police. But if she felt that way and that's what she needed to do to be safe, it is what it is. Motherfuckers are saying I support police and shit behind that when they're literally on Twitter snitching. Motherfuckers are literally on Twitter right now talking about there was some illegal activity in the call that I illegally recorded, or in the call that someone illegally recorded. There was illegal activity and TOS activity. You're literally snitching. You're a snitch. You're saying that I'm a fucking hypocrite for claiming ACAB, but also being in a call when a woman is ready to call the police because she's getting stalked, which is the goofiest shit in the world just by itself. But you're gonna do that, and then on top of that, you're gonna fucking turn around and snitch. You're out here snitching. You telling. If motherfucker is talking about the people they killed in raps and shit is self-snitching, then what is it when you're going out of your way to talk about, oh, there was illegal activity? You want some fucking herb-ass, nerd-ass, fucking burb-ass bullshit, yo. Some fucking weird-ass high school kid, fucking art school, fucking trust fund, fucking terminally online, weird-ass, fucking student loan, weirdo fucking bullshit, yo. Motherfuckers don't understand. Motherfuckers play with people's like real fucking lives on this shit all day, every day. That shit's not a fucking game. That shit drives me nuts. The conversation from the very fucking beginning was supposed to be about how we fucking protect survivors and how we rehabilitate people to get them back to being functioning members of the community. Motherfuckers are tight because their name was mentioned. Motherfuckers want to literally dox fucking and throw sensitive information out there about domestic fucking abuse survivors because they're mad their name was mentioned. I'm like tight about this shit. That's why I said, you know what? Play it. I'll stand 10 toe down. Just like, yo, this is just like with the fucking, with the other situation with another hot mic thing where I didn't realize that what I was gonna say would be fucking shared with whatever. I thought I was having a private conversation that's now made public. Because I'm not a goofy ass nigga, I will stand 10 toes down on any of the fucking shit that I said in that shit. I'll stand 10 toes down on all that shit. Cause part of it was at least with me, part of it was me trying to figure out how we help Jason. So they're goofy as shit for that. Look at you, goofy. Bird brain, look at you goofy ass niggas. Yeah, motherfuckers are acting like we were trying to just be out here 5150 and people are. Y'all fucking crazy? At what point in any of what you heard in that fucking conversation was us trying to get him fucking institution? People are out of their fucking minds on this shit just because they smelled a fucking, they caught a whiff of some clout. I smell clout. Here's something spicy for me to talk about because I'm bored as shit. Can't talk about Ukraine because nobody gives a fuck about Ukraine anymore. Can't talk about abortion because nobody gives a fuck about abortion anymore. You have goofy ass niggas like F-bombs. Can't talk about Q because nobody gives a fuck about Q. So let me fucking insert myself into the situation where no one fucking asked me to.
The enemy has begun their assault.
Copy that command. We'll stop them.
Bring it on!
Show us
What
your
up,
best
Clyde?
work,
How you feel? I'm just good because this shit is. This shit's been. I'm not gonna hold you, yo. This shit's has done kind of.
Command, on our way.
I'm not gonna fake. I was low key ready to cry on my stream earlier this morning. I was getting ready to cry. I was getting frustrated, yo. Because it's just I don't know how we got so far away from the original shit that was what we were supposed to be talking about. We're supposed to be doing in the first.
Okay, let's run that again.
The enemy is capturing the objective. Fight for control of the target area. Objective contested. Objective contested. Hostile activity.
That shit was. Yeah, that shit was foul. Like I said, there's fuck man. I suck with this fucking unit too. That shit was goofy for. See what's up with it. People that I respected, I used my X-Men power on them today. Also, the fact that
Allied unit down.
this shit it has gotten so far out of fucking pocket.
Thanks, I owe you.
Oh, I got the rocket launcher. Oh, bring that ass. Ooh, I got the rocket launcher. Ah. Yeah, nah, yo, I'm fucked up because if anybody that was in here knows, yo, I did nothing but support fucking Kaya. Publicly and privately, yo. That shit hurts niggas' soul because y'all know my vibe on here. There's not too many of us on here. So why he thinks I would force, that's why I don't like goofy ass niggas like I'm not even too far. I'm just gonna make these niggas eat my rockets real quick. Then we can bomb. I have a chill stream. It's gonna be chill. We're gonna gun them up. Friday, I just got my. Oh yeah, I don't have it to show you because it's still at my mom's crib. But I just got my RG God Gundam. And if you guys fuck with Gundams, I actually build them. I'm gonna build that on Friday. We're gonna have a Gundam stream. I'm gonna build my RG God Gundam, and I'm gonna play this after that, and also probably fucking I don't know, show on my Discord. I want to do like 13 nights of Halloween or something. I got mad horror movies I fuck with. Y'all know I'm a horror movie nerd, right? Let's watch some horror movies and shit. They got so triggered. Yo, that one person came in and straight was like, I don't care about Jason or Clyde. And I'm like, fuck you then, off top. Because I do. Those are my people. Fuck you mean you gonna come on my shit talk about fuck my homies. You out of your fucking mind? Fuck you mean? Christ Rock. That's like a grindcore band. It's like a ooh, rockets. Rockets all day. Rockets. Let's get them. Let's get them.
3 minutes remaining.
Nobody. Oh, 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 oh. What is this thing?
Control of the target area.
Watch it.
Let's get in there with some rockets. Let's get some rockets in there. Christ Rock. Christ Rock sounds like a fucking like 2000s like porno grind band or something. I would see Christ Rock in a basement in Baltimore and get beer spilled in my hair. Someone's gonna have a dog at the show. For no reason. Get kicked out for having a dog show.
Round complete. Select the suit you wish to pilot.
That shit was not okay, yo. High key, that shit was not okay. Fam, nah. See, and that, nah, I don't accept that shit either, Cly. Cause how the fuck you gonna apologize for empathy? That shit is so wild to me. What kind of fucked up space is this where niggas gotta apologize for being empathy? How the fuck did I become the bad guy for saying, let's not fuck ruin people's shit? How the fuck did I become the bad guy for being like, let me smooth this shit over. Let me create this shit. Why am I the fucking villain for that? Because motherfuckers are in their fucking feelings. What kind of goofy shit is this? I make a simple ass fucking request. Yo, don't do this, Goof. You're goofed out to the point where that shit is so long, you're skipping through parts of it and shit when you apparently have the timestamp of the shit that you actually want to see anyway. But you just want to fucking twist the knife because this platform just does that shit to people. You just gotta be a fucking sadist on this bitch. People only want to fucking. You only get clicks and views when you're being as big a fucking dickhead as possible, right? Motherfuckers don't even understand. The fucked up thing is, I was proud of us. I was proud of us for not doing specifically for not doing the exact type of shit that's happening right now. I was like, we don't do that type of shit. We're the people that don't do that type of shit. Drama from. I just like I can't like that shit like makes me sad too. I know the motherfuckers are that soulless. Just like ghoulish, yo. I don't give a fuck about motherfuckers' lives. I don't give a fuck about you or none of the shit you're going through. You exist for my entertainment online. I want you to entertain me. Fuck you and everything you're going through. I just want you to entertain me.
Proceed to capturing objective B.
That should just about.
I'm also one of those people. Y'all can probably tell just by how I talk about this shit on here.
Allied unit down.
If I'm riding with you, then I'm riding 10 toes down. I'm goofy because I'm one of those people who will like go to bat and then I had to learn to stop doing that kind of goofy shit. So like, I had to learn to convert that energy into actually holding the people that I know and care about accountable. You know what I'm saying? So like, that's part of the other weird shit that motherfuckers talk about. How I'm like, I just like, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and fucking just like complain about shit. I've had fucking, it's been a rough year. Not even know. Mad shit's happened in my personal life. I mean, yeah, and yo, shit's y'all. This is how I like tried to like let people know, yo, I'm apologizing to Stardust. Y'all see me apologizing to Stardust. Apologizing to Stardust. Just to let you understand how different the situation is. Oh, motherfuckers still think we're on weird ass content time or something like this.
They found our location.
Capturing the objective.
Damn it. I mean, it's goofy. It's not goofy. You know what I mean? There's nothing goofy about loyalty and supporting the homies and wanting to see your team win. But, like I said, you gotta channel that energy into accountability. When you hear that type of shit or when you see these type of... Honestly, and I've said this a million times throughout this whole fucking snafu, is that if you're immediately on the whole heroes and villains, good guys, bad guys, abuser, abused type shit, like, you're already fucking up. You're goofy already. The shit's, it's always, you always have to look at this shit as, I don't know. I'm just fucking dumb. What up, Alex?
Now for the counterattack.
Minutes remaining. Area
We got members of our community. The community at large being Twitch at large, or whatever. Big streamers, small streamers, whatever. We're all streamers. We all have our little fucking playpens that we've built of cool people, of people in our circle who watch us, who chat with us, who's other people's joints we chat in. Whoop, whoop, whoop. So, like, why the fuck wouldn't we put keeping all the people involved in that process safe above any type of political or interpersonal shit that we might have with each other? I can make whatever criticisms I want about whoever and still say that we should probably come together and agree upon certain terms so that certain shit does not happen in our vicinity to any of the people that are in our circles. And shit's not always going to be perfect, and I'm not a fan of sacrificing the good for perfect. I'm not on no incrementalist shit. You already know how it gets busy when it comes to that type of shit, but at the same time, we're on a spot, we're on a site where if everything that you've witnessed over the last little bit has not fucking demonstrated it to you, it's a big ass white boys club. Just like Hollywood, just like sports, just like everything fucking else. This should not surprise you. And they're gonna do what the fuck they're gonna do. The only thing we can do is call it like we fucking see it. And have solidarity with one another. That's why I fuck with the people that I do fuck with. I fuck with all types of varieties and different flavors of human. I fuck with the humans. That's why I don't fuck with none of that goofy ass. I don't even. That's why all that shit is played out. All that goofy ass fucking that like xenogender, all that shit to me is goofy to me. G, you gotta do something else to me. It don't cost nothing to respect other people. That's just a basic ass argument to debunk that goofy shit right off. I don't give a fuck what the fuck you want to call it. It don't hurt me. It doesn't fucking cause me physical pain. Like I don't feel the fucking like melanin leaving my body when someone tells me that they're fucking gray gender or something. It's goofy. It's just motherfuckers can't admit that they're being manipulated to the point where they're literally watching a video of us trying to figure out a way for Jason to step away, sight unseen, and come back to his platform, to Stonercast, to all this shit fresh, ready, and cool and good, like nothing ever happened. They're literally watching a video of us trying to figure out the best way to do that, saying that we're trying to take away his fucking livelihood. We're trying to destroy his platform and destroy his reputation. You know how fucking goofy these people are? It's just, it makes me not even want to engage with this shit. I'm glad I found the cool people that I found, and it is what it is with y'all. I rock with y'all. And you know how I get busy with that. I'm gonna rock with y'all 10 toes down. But like, this Twitch shit is kind of goofy. I'm not gonna hold you. I didn't know it was gonna be like this when I got in the game. Bong! Ah. Grown ass men, yo. Grown ass men. This nigga's mad because his name was mentioned. Do y'all, if y'all understand nothing else about me, I hope y'all understand this. That I could pick this fucking machine right here up and throw it the fuck out that window and not think twice about it. My reputation would be exactly the fucking same as it was before I did this goofy shit, G. Twitch poll is not representative of our communities. That's you know how I feel about that too, Tofu. The whole thing that I was trying to achieve with the Gus shit and everything is like trying to create a space, because Tofu Ghost, your content is like some of the content that I fuck with the heaviest. It's just all chill, all just like the type of shit that I'm gonna just fucking just run through, because bonk. Hold that. Get bonked. Hold on, let me bonk him real quick before I go through all the streamers I fuck with. Tofu Ghost, Levelhead, J Marianne I've been fucking with. Fucking Overlord Cly, obviously we should be supporting her. Fucking Antithesis is chill. Fucking Famous Horse, pretty chill. Obviously your favorite streamer's favorite streamer, Paradigm Shift. Fucking Aston Mac, chill. Just like all just like chill, and like the type of like ask questions, there's no such thing as a dumb question type chat type vibe. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if that makes sense what I'm saying. It's like, it's educational, but at the same time it's chill. Like I talk about, like I was talking earlier about the fucking prisoner strike in Alabama, but like, I try to keep it. Greycraft is chill. You know what I mean?
You're doing fine, pilot. Keep it up.
We'll get the job done,
Just try to keep up with me, huh?
Pretty much everybody in chat right now is all low key high key. I'm not with the blood sport shit, and like we can talk about important shit without being debate perps. You don't actually want to get anything done IRL. Yeah, exactly. That's my thing. I try to do fundraisers. I did the fucking Food Not Bombs fundraiser. I did the Baltimore Abortion Fund fundraiser. I'm obviously gonna do hella more of them. I'm just trying to make sure I'm straight right now because I'm in between jobs and trying to figure out my job situation. I want to do Baltimore community fridge fundraisers. I want to do more abortion fund fundraisers because we're gonna need that shit. Fucking, and you know, I'm edgy about voting and shit, but I also talk a little bit about local politics. Like here, question 4 in Maryland is gonna be cannabis legalization, recreational. I'm talking about that, and you know, the podcast I also do a podcast called The Bolsheviks that is like 100% politics and stuff. We don't really talk about Twitch or any of this shit at all, but did a few interviews. I did an interview with Ashley Esposito for when I did the Baltimore Abortion Fund fundraiser, but also we did an interview with her because she was running for the first elected position for a Baltimore City School Board. So she's gonna be one of like 15 representatives, and now 2 of them are elected. So we'll see how that goes. Oof. Dip out. Get my kill and then bounce. Oh no. Fuck. Get my kill and then bounce. You all alone, G. Oh no, I'm about to die from this. Fuck. Literally, you're filling out grant paperwork for your SPED students since Texas is actually giving out $1,500 grants to public school kids for devices and extra tutorials or out of school activities. That's dope. Teach kids, like, I'm all about teaching kids like fucking like trades and shit. Like teach kids how to use even like just basic computer shit. Like teach kids how to use Photoshop, InDesign. Teach kids how to use like Fusion 360. That's what I've been on lately. Y'all see the 3D printers in the background. I've been fucking with Fusion 360 heavy. Been fucking with Tinkercad, fucking with all that. Teach kids how to develop film. Like the high school I went to sucked, but it at least had a dark room and like a music room. Oh, we about to get smacked in your noggin. Let me bonk this man too. Bonk this man too. Fuck.
5, 4, 3, 2.
SPED is not special ed. No, I think that low key might.
Fight for control of the target.
That might be not politically correct.
All troops, press the advantage. Objective contested.
That's where you learned. Nice. What's up, Lunar Lily? Happy barb smashing. Thank you.
Sorry, missed the border.
This objective is near
Buddy check. Hey. What's up, UD? Gay ops? The fuck is gay ops? Full disclosure, I didn't watch. When I said I was out and that shit, I was out. I truly mean, like, I'm done dealing with this for now. I'll just see what the consequences of it are on Twitter or whatever tomorrow. I already deal with motherfuckers call me Blitler and a snake and other shit like that on a regular basis. So that's just what my life has fucking become at this point, thanks to Twitch, right? So I've only myself to blame for it.
1 minute remaining.
Oh no! I got my little sword too. I'm gonna pull my little sword out. Oh shit! I'm gonna get shot. They just love riding my dick. I'm getting saddle sores. I gotta chill. Went ahead and bonked them. Went ahead and bonked them. Please close on those kills. They're weak. It's certain circles. Yeah, you're right. It's not all of Twitch. I gotta stop saying shit like that because
Allied unit down.
what am I fucking arguing with myself. You know? My whole purpose of being here and hanging out with people like y'all is to try to show that there's actual good sides of Twitch.
4, 3, 2, 1. Now entering mode.
Keep up the pressure. You can't lose now.
Mission complete. We've been defeated.
Yeah, Arun, how'd your conversation go? Matter of fact, I got I don't know, I haven't been pay attention to Discord since I had to restart my computer. Let me open Discord back. I can get VC going. Y'all want to do like we usually do. Pop into the VC, I'll drag you in and we chop it up. Yeah, she came through, said this is the good side of Twitch. That's how I feel. We're the good guys, yo. We actually give a fuck. I'll tell you point blank, my fucking Discord's dry as shit. Ain't nobody in my fucking Discord. You won't find no skeletons in my closet in my Discord. I inherited my Discord from someone else, and since I've been in here, it's just been super chill to the point where only like 5 or 6 people even interact with. We bring Arun Anno up in here. Oh, Arun in the house. Watch your mouth. What's up, bro? How you feel?
Not much, man. Not much. Not much. Just chilling. Just chilling.
How'd your conversation go?
It went pretty well. The only reason I ended the stream early is because the fucking heater is broken. And I was like freezing.
Damn.
Yeah, so like I was actually, it's like 46 degrees right now outside.
It did get cold as shit today. It was mad because of the rain and shit.
Exactly, and it was like, I was like, what the, like I'm like I never wear like.
I turned the heat on for the first time today.
Yeah, no, normally what happens is in the summer, like for some reason sometimes the AC doesn't work during the fucking summer. And sometimes during the winter, the fucking heater doesn't work. Like it's mad like cold here. I swear.
Sucks.
It's like, yeah, it's like the weather dropped and like tomorrow's gonna be fucking bad. Yeah, so it's just like fucking whirlwind of shit.
Select
And
the suit you wish to pilot.
yeah, and like I was like freezing. So I was wearing a sweater, sweatpants, and I was wearing socks. And like I was like, fuck this. I can't play my Switch. But yeah, like I was like, I cannot. My hands are too fucking. Because like for some reason, like for me specifically, like it's my appendages that get super cold super
All
quick.
pilots, prepare to attack.
We'll be fine out there.
Right? It's like my hands and my legs get obscenely cold super quick. I wonder how cold winter's gonna get.
Does your ankle get fucked up in the cold now too?
Oh yeah, no, it's worse now because I fucking broke it last week.
Yeah, I was gonna say that shit. Yeah, my knuckle
It's
gets
worse now because I broke it.
up. On days like today, actually, the knuckle.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm surprised you fucking noticed that shit. Damn. But yeah, the stream I think was pretty good. I think overall, like, I think the goal was to be very informative.
Okay.
And I think it did its job. I think having an Iranian woman talk about the situation in Iran just talk about like what's going on there, give her experiences and basically like her particular perspective on like Iranian politics and whatnot. I think that was incredibly
Select the
invaluable.
suit you wish to pilot.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Because there's a lot of fucking everybody is fucking yo goon turned god. Thank you for the raid. I was gonna say everybody's an armchair analyst when it comes to the politics of that whole situation over there. So it's cool to actually hear it straight from the mouth of the people with boots on the ground. You know,
well, she's not in Iran right now, so she's
or at least I guess yeah, have the experience with that area or from that experience.
yeah,
I guess is
yeah. So she's. I mean, I can say her name. Progressive Brad is what I had on, right?
right.
So I had Iranian American streamer Progressive Brad on to talk about what's going on in Iran, and basically so what I wanted to touch upon in this particular stream was because this is actually not the first time I talked about Iran. I think last week I talked about just generally the lay of the land of Iran, and I talked about like what is going on in Iran, what is what exactly is like the demographics of Iran, what is the lead up to all this, what is so basically Gina Amini is basically the woman that was killed by the morality police, right? And I'm just relaying what I've heard, right?
Right.
So Gina Amini Masa Amini is the person that was killed in Iran by the morality police. And the thing is, in Iran, there's no so hijab is enforced in Iran, but there's no solid definition on what like proper hijab is. So it's in the law is intentionally vague to the point where it's basically up to the discretion of the cops to do it to the specifically the morality police to do whatever they want. And so basically and again, I'm just relaying the information that she said, and you can go watch it in the VOD if you want.
Okay.
But basically, for an Iranian woman, it's often like looking over. It's always having like an eye over your shoulder, basically, because you don't know when. So
Understand that completely.
Oh yeah, no, a lot of people understand that shit. I said I didn't in that interview, but now that I think about it, I do. I actually do. I kind of do understand what that's like, actually. Now that I'm running through everything in my head, but yeah, like but yeah, so that's basically like what it's like for women in Iran, because the morality police could basically snatch you up at any moment, and usually what happens is they take you to like some sort of re-education center, like some re-indoctrination center. But in this case, they basically took her to the police station. They trigger warning, they sexually assaulted her and then they murdered her. That's basically that's basically like what happened and that's why the protests are happening so vigorously. And the thing is like, so the best way this has been described is that Masa Amini or Gina Amini is Iran's George Floyd.
Okay. That's what I have heard that compared to before.
Disarm the Megacharge.
Because so to basically give you an idea, this is like the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah.
This sort of thing has been happening in Iran for decades, especially, and obviously like America has definitely fucked with Iran for.
Oh, no doubt.
Yeah, Iran, like America's history with Iran is Iran, yeah. No, the CIA and MI6 basically overthrew a prime minister by the name of Mohammad Mossadegh, because what was then the British Iranian Petrol Company, the IPC, I think, wanted to basically have monopolistic control over Iran's oil fields. But that company later became BP, and apparently BP now does own Iran's oil fields. Right? So they succeeded. But Mohammad Mossadegh was thrown out, and the backlash of that basically created a lot of resentment towards the Shah, right? and the Shah was very authoritarian, and he basically made it so that he was doing the opposite, right? He basically ostracized women that decided to wear the hijab, right? He was doing the opposite before the 1979 revolution. And then the 1979 revolution happens, right? 1979 revolution happens. Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini, right, takes power in Iran, right? And Ruhollah Khomeini originally promised that the hijab law that basically led to all this isn't going to happen, right? But then he went back on his word, and what happened was he basically instated it in full force. And long story short, the power transfer from Khomeini to Khamenei, which is the current, and they have very similar names, not related at all. Khamenei, who's the current Ayatollah, the supreme leader of Iran, he's basically been the custodian of these laws since the Khomeini era, right? And so what ended up happening was decades of resentment towards, and on top of that, the sanctions have the U.S. backed sanctions, the U.S. Were put on Iran. Excuse me. Those exacerbated the material conditions of Iran as well.
Oh, I can only imagine.
So, like for example, it made medical supplies harder to get. It makes everything incredibly expensive, along with the inflation that's happening in Iran, right? So you have an entire population of young people. Most of like Iran's population are Gen Z. Like we're talking 70-80%, I think. Like the vast majority of Iran's population is heavily skewed towards Gen Z, who are very educated, who know what's going on in the outside world, who know that they live under basically a very shitty regime, right? And are basically fed up with the religious police dictating whatever they're allowed to do. And so it is a mixture of the population being incredibly young, right? They are being educated, like a lot of them are educated, like they're higher educated, they have higher education. And on top of that, like they've been fed up with the regime for a long time. Like for example, in what happened in 2009 in Iran, there was something called the Green Movement or the Green Revolution. That was them being pissed off at the ayatollahs at the mullahs of Iran, at the clergy of Iran, right? And so you see this sort of perfect cocktail of like everything like needed for a revolution. Massive decades of angst, right? Like the school, like the scale that it's happening at is nearly damn near unprecedented, right? Like what is likely going to happen, according to from what Ari has told me, these protests are going to happen more frequently and with greater intensity because of the fact that Mahsa Amini's Gina Amini was the straw that broke the camel's back in all of this.
Okay.
So what is likely, so for those people that are like hoping like regime change is going to happen, no, it's not going to happen like immediately. It's not going to happen for a long time, right? And if I'm going to be perfectly honest, I had this feeling too, but I'm glad that Progressive Brat was there to confirm this stuff. Things are unfortunately going to get worse before they get better. And basically the situation for the diaspora, and I've had this sort of situation, I talked about this with Ari, and I talked about this with another chatter who's Iranian as well, who's from Iran originally. They cannot establish contact with their family in Iran. Like there's an entire countrywide blackout in Iran. And
of the internet, or also just like phone communications as well, I would imagine.
I'm not sure about the phone. I'm not sure about phone communication. I'm pretty sure, like, because internet is the main mode of communication to the outside world.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they use WhatsApp and Telegram, right? So that was so because that's completely cut off, right? The like diaspora do not have access to their families at home. They're not able to maintain like a serious like they're not able to maintain any sort of consistent contact. So that's basically what's kind of been going on in Iran for the past several weeks, and in different parts. So another thing that might throw another equation into this is that so Masa Amini is a Kurdish Iranian. So Iran actually is home to multiple different like ethnicities, and Masa or Jina is actually her, I think her real name. Jina Amini is Kurdish in origin. So to my understanding, this has also somewhat exacerbated the some of the Kurdish independence movements of Kurdistan in Iran to a certain degree.
Huh.
Right. So because like there are parts of Iran that kind of have an independent streak. Balochistan is one of them. Kind of you can kind of say the Arabs of Khuzestan are another example, and the Kurds are another example of a minority ethnicity in Iran that somewhat lean more independent. It depends, right? Again, what is he talking about? I'm talking about Iran. I'm talking about Iran at the moment. What's going on in Iran? So Gina is that's another thing that throws a wrench into the equation as well. The basically there's also like talk of like who's going to succeed. Another thing to keep in mind is like who is going to succeed the current Ayatollah of Iran, which is Khamenei. Khamenei is basically on his deathbed at this point. He's basically about to die at some point, and there's a lot of worries about who is going to succeed him in that as the supreme leader of Iran. So that's another thing that people are watching out for in Iran. So that was the sort of conversation that I had with Progressive Brat about all this, and I think she provided a lot of insight regarding this, and I think it was important that we got that perspective because, like, honestly, like, I think she's one of the few like really like she's like she's one of the few people that can provide that perspective.
Right.
And so like I'm like eternally grateful that she came on my show to
Yeah,
talk
that
about
sounds like a really fucking dope stream, man.
Select the suit you
That's the type of shit that we sorely fucking need on this show. Shit.
if he leaves, do they vote on it or how's that decided? So there's a group of clergymen in Iran that decide the next supreme leader. So the supreme leader is basically above the law, you can kind of say. He is by rule, he is by law above the law. So no matter what kind of suck, yeah, it doesn't matter, right?
The mission is about to begin.
It does not matter like
Prepare to attack.
it doesn't matter like I mean again, Iran is basically a theocracy, right? It is a theocracy through and through. It is like it is what you're gonna get, right? This is like par for the course with the theocracy, right? And my understanding is this is like again, it's an oligopolistic rule. It's the clergy that really holds the power in Iran. So yeah, again, I would go to Progressive Brat if like I'm just relaying what she said, like to me, and I'm relaying what my chatter also said to me. So I may have gotten a couple of things wrong here or there, but I highly recommend checking out Ari, Progressive Brat. She's awesome.
Oh yeah.
She's incredibly awesome. She was gracious enough to to be on my show to talk about this. And the thing is, I wanted her and I wanted Iranians to come and talk about this because I wanted to talk about Iran but I knew for a fact I am not nearly knowledgeable enough about Iran to talk about this. Like, I'm not remotely knowledgeable about Iran to talk. Like, I know a little bit more about Iran than your average American because
Let's run that again.
Iran has had like the Persian-speaking world has had a massive influence over India.
Control of the target
So
area.
that's kind of like, and Iran is basically like, Iran is a neighbor of Pakistan as well. Like Iran borders Pakistan. Um, so, and Iran and India have really good like alliances as well. So that's how there's a lot of like, that's how I know like what I know already about Iran. And also like, I've learned a lot about Iran from comedians like Maz Jobrani, Maximini, um, uh, you know, lots of Persian comedians. What's his name? Tehran, Von Gassery, like Persian comedians who have really like basically talked about Iran, talked about Persia, or I mean not Persia, but Iran a lot. Persians who have talked about Iran, and yeah, it's the whole thing was super insightful, and that's why like when I talk about these sorts of things, another thing I've wanted to talk about is the situation that's happening in the Tigray region of Ethiopia, right?
Interesting.
But I don't know what's going on there. But from what I could tell, like Ethiopia could be gearing up to do war crimes in the Tigray region, right? And as someone that has covered countries that talks about that has done war crimes like against like a minority population, like this kind of hits close to home for me.
Right, yeah, I would imagine you think or
Let's
two
run that
about
again.
Yeah. So I was like, this needs to be talked about. Like, this needs to be brought to light. But,
Control of the target area.
um, yeah, if there are any, like, if there's anyone from that region, please let me know.
Press the advantage.
Because I think that really does need to be talked about. And I don't think that region is getting nearly enough, like, press coverage. Because I've seen that shit happen with Sri Lanka. I've seen that shit happen where there's not enough press coverage. Not just not enough press coverage, but not enough good press coverage
right.
of that region. I've
'Cause
seen that
mad
exact
neutral
same
press
thing
coverage
happen.
just makes it like, yeah, it's a thing that's happening. Don't worry too much about it. It's like that's not enough.
Exactly. This exact same thing happened in Sri Lanka.
If you wish to pilot.
And we know what happened as a result of it. No one's fucking talking about it. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm hoping to do with the broadcast at some point.
Are you gonna make that like a YouTube joint or?
The interview with yeah, I'm gonna
Oh
upload
yeah,
that.
nice,
Get the
nice.
job done, Command.
Mission accepted.
So that'll be actually like live in a spot where people can see it and get some sense, like get something out of it beyond just however long Twitch VODs.
Could you go over the Sri Lanka press coverage thing? I'll go into slight detail. I'm not going to rehash it out again because I've talked about it on end. Like Endless knows how much I've talked about this.
DC Metal Chris said Ethiopia is complicated as it's hard to get news that is trustworthy from that country. That also makes sense because
Yeah, I think Ethiopia has like a vested interest in. I mean, there are multiple players involved in what's going on in that particular region. I think, and I think Ethiopia has a vested interest in controlling the narrative. I think the
Let's go welcome our
Ethiopian
guests, shall
government
we?
has a
Moving to intercept hostiles.
vested interest in controlling the narrative there.
Deploy at once.
Um,
Allied unit
but
down.
as far as the Sri Lanka press coverage thing, so basically so for 25 years, I'll just go into quick detail. 25 years in Sri Lanka had a civil war. You've likely never heard of that. You've likely never heard about the Sri Lankan civil war because it was probably like not top news at all. If you got any coverage coming out of Sri Lanka, it was likely because they were talking about the Tamil rebels, the Liberation Tigers of Tamil Eelam, which are a terrorist group that I do not condone at all. right? I need to repeat that, right?
Contested.
Um,
The enemy is capturing the
but
objective.
basically, there really wasn't any reporting, and there wasn't adequate reporting on like what is actually going on the ground, because what happened in 2009 was that, bro, I know them because I like MIA. Okay, so then you know exactly. MIA was actually shut out. Like Oprah literally called her a terrorist for raising
Damn.
issues. Yeah, Oprah literally said, "I can't associate with you because you're a terrorist."
Reposition and defend objective B.
Right? Now, the thing that is complicated about that is her father was part of a student organization that was associated with uh the LTTE. So she technically did have connections to the LTTE, but they're incredibly tenuous at best.
Watch it.
Right? Yeah, Oprah shut her. Yeah, Oprah shut her out. It was like she was vilified for supporting. Uh, she was vilified for taking a stand on that. And the thing is, I've gotten the whole like "you're a terrorist" line, because I'm not immediately supporting the Sri Lankan government. I've gotten that shit because I don't immediately.
I've seen it. I've seen it. It's
Yeah,
goofy.
no, yeah, like I've gotten like yeah, you've seen yeah,
Motherfuckers,
you know,
that there was that one dude that was trying to call you a fucking Tamil ethnic nationalist or some weird shit like that.
yeah, he called me a fucking Nazi, like. Like I was like, dude, okay, dude, all right, whatever. Like I'm literally advocating for ethnic minorities in Tamil Nadu. Like you're gonna go ahead like, okay, all right, whatever, like whatever, weirdo, right? But yeah, like, but like, no, you saw that, and you saw the kind of pushback that gets, right? That is an illustration of like how deeply buried this stuff is, right? Like me simply even talking about it, right? Like is enough to get me branded as a terrorist, right? Just me simply talking about it is enough to get branded as a terrorist, and not being immediately supportive of the Sri Lankan government. So that's the sort of thing that I'm talking about. There was no adequate press coverage given to the civil war, and whatever people know about this has been fucking buried, right? Like Sri Lanka was literally able to get away for the fourth time by like the UN wanted to investigate war crimes in Sri Lanka, right? And then Sri Lanka just straight up said, "Nah, fam, you're not doing that." For the fourth time. This is the fourth time since the Civil War ended, and they've done that. This is the fourth consecutive government that did that. So that's what I'm talking about. If there isn't adequate press coverage given to these sorts of issues, there are going to be people that die as a result of it, and there's going to be no form of recourse for it. There's going to be no sense. There's absolutely going to be no form of justice. If like there's not going to be any form of quote unquote justice, if you can even say that at all, right? Because justice, quote unquote, doesn't bring back those dead people. It doesn't, right? There are going to be people that are going to be massacred as a result of this. It's going to happen if there isn't adequate press coverage. And even even if there's adequate press coverage, there's a big chance that it might happen, right? But if there's no press coverage, it's definitely going to happen. If there isn't adequate press coverage given to this, it is going to happen. Innocent people are going to lose their lives as a result of this. So that's what I'm talking about. I've seen this shit happen with Sri Lanka, and I don't want this to happen again with Tigray. If there's a whiff of a hint that it is going to play out exactly like Sri Lanka or Rwanda for that matter,
Right. I was just thinking about that.
if it's gonna happen just like Rwanda, then people need to start talking about this shit. Like people need to start talking about this shit. Jesus Christ.
The enemy is capturing
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm with you. People are like stuck on other shit. It's fucking the like not just the Overton window of shit in the United States, but just the shit that people choose to talk about within the world. As fuck.
Idi Amin. I don't know too much about Idi Amin, other than like he was deeply problematic.
Yeah, that's about as much as I know about him. As
Control of the target area.
But yeah, like there's a lot of shit that's gonna happen. Like, and the thing with Sri Lanka was, and the thing that's really alarming is that the thing with Sri Lanka is, and that you can contrast it with Rwanda with was a member of a member of the oppressed ethnic minority in Rwanda became the president, Paul Kagame, right? He was a member of the Tutsis. Tutsi, excuse me. He was a member of the Tutsi clan in Rwanda, right? Whereas in Sri Lanka, there's never been a Tamil leader. Never. There's never been a Tamil president. Not once. Every president to date has been Sinhalese. There's never been any accountability held for that. And I fear that is going to happen in Ethiopia as well. I could entirely be off base about this entire thing, but from what I could tell, there's some really fucked up shit that's about to happen there. And that's why, like,
yeah,
that's
it's fucked up. Cool.
In Ethiopia. No, Ethiopia. No. So there's a conflict in Ethiopia in the Tigray region, right? And people have warned, from what I could tell, that there's going to be genocide that happens in Ethiopia of the Tigrayans in the Tigray region of Ethiopia.
Let's go welcome our guests, shall we?
Moving to intercept hostiles.
Like that, I don't know. Like, there's so much shit that needs to be talked about and that isn't being talked about.
Enemy UAV located.
Agreed.
And again, this is not like a diss. I'm not saying this as a diss on like any particular streamer that doesn't cover all this, right? Like, it's not like a diss on any one particular. To my understanding, the ethnic minority in the Tigray region wants to secede from the rest of the country and the government is not pleased. Yeah. And if they want to secede, they have a right. Like, they should have a right to secede. Right?
I would stand on that.
Yeah. Like, because, again, right? I don't know what the particular situation is and why they want to secede. But
Good night, antithesis.
good night, antithesis. I don't know what the particular situation is with them and why they want to secede, but they want to secede for one particular reason. A lot of people in that region want to secede, and they should have every right to do that.
Oh yeah, especially given that their boundaries were determined by colonizers. Yeah, fuck yeah, that's yeah. I gotta say less about that though, lest the Blitler accusations fucking come back up.
So actually, I think Ethiopia was the one country that wasn't colonized by anyone in Africa. So I think this doesn't really have anything to do with colonizers in that sense, if I'm not mistaken. I could totally be wrong about that. I think Ethiopia was the one country in Africa. Like, Italy tried colonizing it, but it didn't work. Right? Italy managed to colonize what is now Eritrea. Ethiopia held out, but was it Italian head? Was it? Okay. Italian held. I know Eritrea was held by the Italians, but I could be wrong about that. But, and then I know in Asia, Thailand is the only country that escaped colonization. But yeah, like, that dissolved post World War II. That's what I figured. But yeah. But yeah, like, And again, I don't know anything about Ethiopian history, but that's why I'm looking for someone from like Ethiopia, or that's why I'm looking for people to tell their story. Because this stuff needs to be, uh, this stuff needs to be told.
Yeah, no problem, Mako. This is the shit that I honestly like to do most with my platform, my stream. Just facilitate conversation like this and play fun video games and smoke weed and support causes that I care about, including drawing attention to potential genocide. I feel like not liking genocide's a pretty universal position. I would hope. There was a musician that was assassinated in Ethiopia for criticizing the goat.
Control of the target area.
Okay, let's run that again.
A famous
I
singer.
wouldn't be surprised. Ethiopia kind of has like Ethiopia announces arrest in prominent singers. This happened in 2 years ago, I think. Hachalu Hundessa. Yeah, Hachalu Hundessa, I think is his name. It happened like a couple years ago.
Select the suit you wish to pilot.
I love this discussion, by the way, Room. Thanks. Oh, no. Like, this is the sort of discussion I have on my channel all the fucking time. It's usually about, like, the sorts of conversations that I have are usually about world politics. So I usually talk about South Asian politics, right? So I usually cover, like, Indian, Pakistani, Sri Lankan politics.
Are you ready? We're dropping you back.
And because that's a topic that hits close to home for me, and I feel like that's a topic that the original reason I joined Twitch was to reach the Indian audience. As like the reason I started streaming in the first place was to reach the Indian audience, right? Because I feel like a lot of Indians are, especially like a lot of young Indians, are incredibly prone to radicalization to the right. And so if I can somewhat intervene in that process to make a small, however small impact it may be, right? Then I want to be able to do it. Because I know a lot of the people that get easily radicalized to the right, they're just fed a lot of propaganda and they don't know anything else, right? To give you an idea of like how rigged the propaganda is in India,
In your assault.
right? So one of the default news channels in India is Republic TV. When you install cable in your home, right? One of the default news channels is Republic TV, which is like Indian Newsmax or Indian like OAN.
Yeesh.
So that's like one of the default news channels, and it's in Hindi as well, right? And the Hindi news channels like Aaj Tak, Doordarshan, Z News, that sort of thing, they're like a step up worse than the English news, because a lot of their population are like Hindi speaking BJP voters, right? So they target that propaganda directly. They know their target audience and they fucking target that shit. They know who their audience is 1000%, and they target that shit,
All troops, press
Yeah.
the
right?
advantage.
So, and another thing is that a lot of especially young people, they get radicalized on like YouTube. So they'll watch like Indian Steven Crowder. His name is Sham Sharma, right? Indian Steven Crowder, Indian Ben Shapiro. Name is String on YouTube, right? Like you have these like weirdo like right wingers on YouTube. Like, by the way, make no mistake, they're openly Hindu nationalists. They're openly far right. Like this is like the Indian equivalent of like straight up like nationalists. Like Ben Shapiro is not able to slip, like he's not able to like fully reveal the mask, if that makes any sense. Steven Crowder has like slipped off the mask several times, but like not to the degree that a lot of these guys are. Like Indian like right wingers are able to operate in this space with fucking impunity. Going to bed. Don't DM what you're doing tomorrow night, bro. Got something good for you. Okay.
I feel you, Great Crap. Have a good night. Thanks, man.
It does make sense. Yeah, that's the reason that I wanted to get into this space. Like, that's the reason I wanted to get into this space, because I wanted to like talk to, I wanted to reach Indians where they were at, and I wanted to be like, listen, like you don't have to go down this route, like, or like this is wrong, or like you don't have to do this, you don't have to do that. And thankfully, it's beginning to make a mark with people, right? Like some of the people that rely, like some of my closest, like not some of my closest, but like some of the people that have been there since day one, or that have been there from like my early days, they're Indians that want to follow politics, that don't know what's going on, and a lot of them come to me for that shit. And so that's what I want to do with this stream. That's the whole purpose of my stream. I want to talk about, like, I want to reach people where they're at in India, especially. I'm half Cambodian as well, but I'm ignorant of Cambodia. I'm half Cambodian, but I'm also ignorant of Cambodia as well. You know what? You know what you should do? I like Mudkips. You should do some research. Seriously. Seriously, you should like read up on Cambodia, and you should do that. Because I think like knowledge is power. I really think that, right? Knowing is oftentimes better than not knowing, right? And especially when it comes to politics, yeah, it's super like the politics that I cover is super heavy. The news stories that I cover is super heavy, but it's stuff that needs to be talked about. Like a lot of the stuff that I talk about is stuff that you won't hear on like mainstream Indian news television, right? Like for example, people from marginalized castes fucking being mutilated and being murdered on a daily basis, or being like them being abused by the government, or them being abused by nationalists in India. That's stuff you're not going to hear, right, on mainstream Indian television, because there's a bias there, right? And on top of that, this stuff happens so often that you can't dedicate all your time to talking about this, because we could go like I could literally pull a list of what happened today to Dalit people, and it could probably cover today. It could probably cover today's news cycle. That's how common this stuff is. I think part of the issue is right wing doesn't only have propaganda, but entire rewards and power structure built around it.
Yeah, that's so
doing. No, like I talked to some people in India, and one of the things that they told me was, one of the reasons that people vote BJP is because of the economic incentives that they have. BJP has a lot of fucking connections. BJP members have a lot of fucking connections. And if you vote BJP, if I could have a link to your Twitch, maybe, I'll
shout you out.
That'd be great. Thanks for that. Yeah, like one of the things that I learned was the reason that the fucking BJP is so nightmarishly effective at their job is because they have convinced a lot of people, if not the BJP, who else? And it's partially due to the opposition's fault in India that, like, if you think the Democrats here are bad, you ain't seen shit yet. You ain't seen shit yet. The Congress Party of India, the Indian National Congress, is somehow more fucking incompetent. The Indian National Congress is somehow more fucking incompetent than the Democratic Party is here in the United States. It is somehow deeply incompetent. Like, think about it this way. The current situation of the Congress Party is imagine for a second that the figurehead of the Congress Party was not Chelsea Clinton, or sorry, the figurehead of the Democratic Party was not Chelsea Clinton, but Hillary Clinton's great grandson. That's the situation that the Congress Party is. Congress Party is in. There's a deep amount of nepotism in that party. There's the current figurehead is the great grandson of basically the flag bearer of the Indian Congress, Indian National Congress Party, Jawaharlal Nehru, who was the first prime minister. The face of the current party, his father and grandmother and great grandfather have all been prime ministers of India. So you basically have a completely feckless opposition in India. You now have basically a bunch of parties that are like the two main opposition parties are Indian National Congress, or the three main opposition parties you can kind of say are Indian National Congress, useless, Aam Aadmi Party. As much as I criticize Aam Aadmi Party, they're at least doing stuff like economically. They're building grassroots stuff, even though they do pander to the fucking Hindu nationalist crowd, and they like try and do some weird marketing strategy. At least they do shit, right? Economically, right? Compared to the INC, right? And I can't entirely say that the Aam Aadmi Party is like 100% right wing in the same way that the BJP is, right? But they have their issues, right? And then finally, you have the TMC, the All India Trinamool Congress, which is largely dominant in West Bengal, right? And these are the guys that fucking drove the communists out of West Bengal, right? But the other thing is, the communists in West Bengal are also like deeply casteist as well. So the communists in West Bengal didn't help their case either. And a lot of the communists in West Bengal, so it's a multi-party system. Yes, it is a multi-party system. And India actually has multiple communist parties operating. And my sort of opinion on the communist parties of India is I'll take them over the INC and the Aam Aadmi Party and the TMC, but the communist parties also have their own issues as well. Like, I'll take them over the other parties. The only party that I'd actually like have a decent like thought over is CPIM versus, which is the Communist Party of India / Marxist, versus the DMK, the Dravida Munnetra Kazhagam, who is the current ruling party of Tamil Nadu. The communist parties are not perfect by any stretch of the measure. They're not, right? But I'll take them over the others. And here's why. A lot of the communists in West Bengal ended up voting for the BJP. Like, they ended up directly voting for right-wingers in West Bengal, just despite the liberals. Many still seem to have the issues with the caste system. The thing is, you cannot pick any party out of India and have it not be casteist in some way, right? The only party you can probably pick are anything that is related to Ambedkar. And even then, some people have like issues with like some people, like in Tamil we have a saying. There's in India there's a word called Sangi, which we use to basically describe extremists, right? So, for example, Kavi Sangi means orange Sangi, which means Hindu nationalists, right? Pacha Sangi means green Sangi, which means Muslim fundamentalists, right? So we have these terms. I don't like particularly the way these terms work out, but there's Neela Sangi, which means blue Sangi, which is like extremists within the Ambedkarite movement. Again, I haven't seen any, right? So take that with a grain of salt. And then you have Karapasangi, which are extremists in the Dravidian movement, right? And again, there are some people in the Dravidian movement that have a couple screws loose, sure, right? But again, overall, I'll take both of those movements over, like the fucking libs in Bengal, or the fucking the INC. Honestly, like India is. And that's partially the reason I wanted to like come on to talk about, like, not just on your stream in particular, but just like in general, like on Twitch, to talk about all this, because I think Indian politics is super complex, but I want to try and make things easier for people to understand. That's my goal.
Right on.
Select the suit you wish to pilot.
Do you have an opinion on Caste, The Origin of Our Discontents by Isabel Wilkerson, where she compares caste and racism? I have heard of that book. I've not read that book. I'm not a big reader, I'm sorry.
Copy that. Thrusters
I
hot.
don't read books. Welcome.
Your goal is to capture
I would never want to ask for a book's autograph.
enemy attack imminent.
Yeah, like I feel like
It's like I read,
feel
I just
like
haven't
we're-
had the time lately.
Command. They won't get past us.
I feel like to a certain extent we're
Nice
moving.
assist.
I mean, books are important, but I feel like we're moving towards a more like accessible medium for these sorts of discussions. I think like videos are way more digestible. Like, there's a reason they're called video
Copy that,
essays,
Command.
Yeah.
Stop 'em.
right?
Accept as soon as
Because like reading essays is, I'm gonna be honest. Do you feel caste and racism is comparable? I think they're both hierarchies. I think they operate somewhat differently.
I think they're similar. I could one to one.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. I don't think you can one-to-one them directly. They're both hierarchies, and there's definitely like the thing with caste is that I think the thing with caste that sets it apart from racism is there's far more layers. It's like the thing is you kind of like racism is largely based on your skin appearance, right? Like you can kind of say a large chunk of racism is based on your appearance, right?
Yeah.
Whereas caste is a lot of like I mean, skin appearance has some role in it, but it has to do with your lineage. It has to do with your family. What family were you born into? Right? What is your ancestry, right? Race is like, I would say like race is a part of casteism in the Indian implementation. But like because Indians are generally mixed, like everyone is mixed, right? But because Indians have been mixing for like 2,000 years, right? It's kind of hard to be like clear-cut racism in the same sense, right?
Yeah.
Like, and the other thing with caste is that it doesn't matter what position you are in the caste system, there will always be someone else you can kick down. There will always be something that you can kick. There's always someone you can kick down. There's always another caste that you can oppress. It doesn't matter how high up or how low you are. There's always someone you can oppress. So like even within the various Dalit castes, there's different forms of oppression. And these are the groups of castes that are shunned by everyone else. Right? So it doesn't matter how far you go, there will always be a way to oppress someone else. If that makes any sense. And like even like and the reverse is also true, right? Like if you're a Brahmin, for example, from the south, right? If you're a Brahmin from Tamil Nadu, like you are better off because you're a Brahmin, but you're still a South Indian. Right? You are still a South Indian in the eyes of a North Indian Brahmin.
Okay, let's run that
Right?
again.
So there's going to be some sort of like oppression from that angle as well. Right? So the thing never ends, right? In India, if there is a weaponizable identity, it will be weaponized against you. Right? It can be your mother tongue, it can be your religion, it can be your gender identity, it can be anything. If there is a weaponizable identity against you, it will be weaponized in India. But yeah, caste is like sort of the, and I think caste is like one. It's like the big elephant in the room that no one really wants to address, because unfortunately, a lot of people benefit from caste privilege. And like I'm perfectly honest. I'm one of those people that benefits from caste privilege. Like I'm a product of caste privilege, right? The fact that the fact that I'm able to like live in America is because my parents had a decent education back in India. They weren't poor. They're not from a village or anything, right? Like they grew up in the cities, right? They all had government jobs back in the like their parents, my grandparents had government jobs back in the day. They didn't like again, they weren't balling, they weren't rich or anything like that, but they weren't horribly off either. They're not like the son of a farmer or anything like that. Right? And it's because of that privilege that I'm able to sit here and talk to you today. Which is another thing that like another reason I came onto Twitch. It's to also hit the Indian American audience. Right? They need to hear this shit too. Right? Because a lot of them, they're living here in America on their fucking caste privilege. And they either don't know it, they don't want to acknowledge it, and like they need to realize this shit.
We'll get the job done, Command.
Mission accepted.
I don't know. Like I don't know. I'm just going off on a rant about all this. But
I feel you.
yeah.
I was doing the same thing earlier. I'm just letting you go though, because it's interesting. It's shit that you said, honestly.
But like that's basically what I try and do with my stream. I want to talk about this stuff. Power to the people.
All
Yeah,
power
this
to
is-
all the people.
All power to all the people. If one person isn't free, then none of us are free. Right? If one of us is oppressed, then all of us are oppressed. It's that simple. One other cool thing that I did was I had one other cool thing that I did was I actually had an Indian anarchist to talk about like what's going on in India and like how he's applied anarchist principles in his advocacy and his activism. So that's another thing that I did that I'm like incredibly proud of. I had a like that's another thing that I'm incredibly proud of on my channel. Like I had an Indian anarchist to talk about, an Ambedkarite anarchist to talk about what's going on
That was a
in
really
India.
cool conversation.
Yeah, because like the way he approached all of this was also incredibly interesting, right? He didn't say like, oh, you should read X book or Y book, right? And one of the things that he did was he basically approached it from, hey, you like open source stuff, right? You like you like this, you like you like Android, right? Or you like Linux, right? Well, Linux is the most popular because the reason he mentioned Linux and Android is because oftentimes when you talk to people who defend capitalism, right, you'll hear this talking point about like, oh, people don't want to do stuff for free. People don't want to do stuff for free. Without money involved, there's no incentive, right? You're wrong. You're literally wrong. Linux was built, like, Linux is
Right.
largely built on fucking donation money.
The internet
Right, the
itself.
Yeah, it's built on the internet. Get like the thing that is used to build Linux, right? The decentralized mechanism that is used to the decentralized versioning control mechanism, right? That is used to contribute to Git. That is also open source, right? So a lot of the stuff that we like OBS, right? OBS is open source, right? A lot of the stuff that we
Broadcasting
take broadcasting software, right? A lot of the stuff that we care about is taken for granted. And I think what he did was very refreshing because he saw the pulse of where people needed to be. He saw exactly what people were receptive to. And he basically said, because he didn't basically said, hey, like, I'm an anarchist and this is what you should do, blah 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 blah. He never mentions the A word. What he does is, hey, you like democracy, right? You like that stuff, right? What I'm proposing is we democratize fucking everything. We democratize the workplace. We democratize our relationships. We democratize, we bring in as much power to the people as much as possible. And that was something that people vibed with. That was something that people were receptive to. Way more than not. Right? And I think that's a lesson to a lot of people here in the United States. And there's another lesson to be learned, right? One of the things that happened in the Shaheen Bagh protests, one of the things that happened in the protest, like the farmers' protests in India, right? The whole thing was decentralized. There was no one figurehead that could be picked out, right? Uh, you know, and there was mutual aid done in those protests. So, do you personally support anarchy? I mean, generally, I mean, I don't talk about it in that sense. The way I think about it is the world is, there are lots of coercive relationships in this world, right? There are lots of coercive relationships that we have. The government is one of them, right? Capitalism is another. Patriarchy is another, right? We have these coercive relationships that we have with society. And what we should work to do is to remove the coercion from those relationships. That's the way I approach things. Right? That's the way I would describe my politics. Right? I want to live in a world where I am able to treat other people as equals. Right? Where people are actually treated as equals. And we don't live in that world yet. And we're not going to live in that world tomorrow. Right? It's going to take a lot of work from a lot of us to get to that world. Right? That's the way I approach politics. That's pretty cool, dude. Well, I mean, I'm glad you like. That's the way I think about things, right? I want to make sure that we live in a society where people are not judged for their sexual orientation, their gender identity, their caste background, whatever it may be, right? I want to live in a world where we can just be. Like, we all want to do a couple of things in life. Is that just the way you approach life? I mean, the way I approach life is different, but the way I approach politics is, first of all, I focus on what is actually happening on the ground level. I do not like my personal ideology describes what my political prescriptions are, right? It leans more in a particular direction. I'm generally skeptical of centralized governments. And the reason I'm generally skeptical of centralized governments is when you put in that much power in the hands of a few, regardless of how well intentioned it is, there tends to be a massive abuse of power, right? And this is a trend that you can see. You can see this in Sri Lanka. You can see this in India. You see this right now happening in Iran as well. When you put power in the hands of, you can see this in America. You can see this in Canada, like Russia. It doesn't, pick your country. It doesn't matter. When you put power in the hands of a few, that power is likely to be abused. It's liable to be abused, right? And so that's one way I approach politics. I approach politics from a standpoint of, I'm very skeptical of, centralized governments because
Mission
uh,
confirmed. Defending target.
No problem.
if they can
Ready to
do this, like, again, you can always judge a government by the way it treats its marginalized people. That's the best way of treating like
Yep.
that. Like, if you can like if a government is willing to abuse its minority population, then you know what it's able to do. Like you know what kind of abuses it's able to fucking take care of. You know what I mean? Sorry, I'm at a total loss for words at this point.
It's all good. I just
The enemy
been.
has begun their assault.
I'm like
Let's go welcome our guests.
full blazed. Fucking. I'm super burnt out.
Combat in progress.
I feel you on that. Yeah. So yeah, that's generally the way I approach politics in general. I don't approach things from
We've successfully
like
captured the waypoint.
like I will talk about like how like neoliberalism has fucked up X country or neoliberalism has fucked up Y country, right? I will obviously talk about that stuff, right?
Area contested.
But I don't make it. There are a handful of times where I made it clear like what if I had to like put a label on my ideology, what it would be, right? But I tend not to do that because the label has like the label does more harm in terms of like what it's associated, like what people think of it as, right? In leftist circles, it's more than enough to be like. In leftist circles, it's like yeah, it's a good heuristic, I think, but I think in general like circles, I don't think it's a good idea to be like oh on this or on that, right? Just in terms of like who I've talked to, right? Like just like it like real life friends and stuff because I talk about politics with friends too.
I
Right?
think
like,
it's way more important to focus on policy.
yeah, 1000% agree. Like I think it's way more important to focus on that stuff than like what ideology you happen to like belong to or like whatever like that's why I say like
That's
I
where more
approach-
meaningful conversation is too.
yeah, that's why I'm like okay, let's assess what's happening actually on the ground, right? Let's focus on that first, and then where the ideology comes in is what my generally in what direction my political prescriptions are going to be. And usually my political prescriptions happen to be right, but like they happen like or at least I think they're right? Because generally like I think the more power you divest away from a central source, the better it is for everyone. The more autonomy you give people, I think the better it is for everyone. That's just a general principle that I think generally works out for everyone. This is pretty like this can be applied in Sri Lanka, this can be applied in India, this can be applied in Pakistan, this can be applied in Bangladesh as well. Right? It can be applied in any country.
The enemy has placed a mega charge. The enemy has set a mega charge. Objective A. Disarm the enemy mega charge.
What up, Tegma? Yeah, that's a rune. That's a rune you hear.
Successfully
Is that a rune? Yes. What's up, Tegma? How's it
Have it your way.
What up, Paradigm?
going? Yeah, Tegma. What up, bro? No, I've just been ranting about like politics. I've been ranting about. So I was originally talking about what was going on in Iran, because I had someone on to talk about the ground situation in Iran earlier on my stream today.
charge and objective A has been disarmed.
Like, I had someone on my stream, Progressive Brat, to talk about what's going on in the ground situation in Iran, right? And I basically had that sort of convo with them, and they've been incredibly based. Yeah, they've been incredibly gracious, and I think that was I think she provided a insight into this entire conversation that was sorely needed. And I really thank her for letting me talk to her and like having this sort of conversation take place. But that sort of went from, you know, this is the sort of thing that's happening in Iran. This stuff needs to be talked about a lot more. Um, like, uh, like, like that evolved from that to, hey, there's this whole thing that's happening in Ethiopia and the Tigray region that no one's fucking talking about, that needs to be talked about. And from what I can glean off of the situation, this is giving me Sri Lanka vibes 2.0. So that was another part of the discussion that I had with Endless here. And like, I also touched again on like what was going on in Sri Lanka again, and talked about like Indian politics and why I joined Twitch in the first place, which was like, Indian politics is a fucking whirlwind, and it's like, it's super hard to grasp what the hell is going on in India already. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, the problem is there's a massive like there's a massive fucking problem with disinfo. Like, there's a whole thing called the IT cell, like, which is basically it is literally an organization that is designed to spread misinformation in favor of the fascists in India. Like, there's an entire organization in India designed to spread misinformation. That's like that puts shit like Truth Social and what was it, Parlor to that puts shit like Parlor to shame. Like, no, these guys have like are operating on WhatsApp, they're operating on fucking Facebook, they're operating on fucking Twitter, they're operating everywhere, right? Like, there is a legit information war that is happening in India, and anything that I can do to counter that, fuck yes, I will engage in that.
Based activities.
Yo, Arun is here. Let's go. Yeah, that's me.
I'm actually about to raid Famous Horse after this game, I think. What up, Mr. Mumbles?
You're doing fine, pilot. Keep it up.
We'll get the job done, Command.
Well, yeah, no, I'm probably gonna go to sleep anyways. My house is fucking freezing, by the way. It's like I told you.
I'm glad my heat kicked in. My house is warming up now.
Holy shit! I gotta talk to the fucking. I gotta talk to maintenance about this.
Arun's not live. I would raid Arun. Arun's not live now.
No, I'm not live. I was originally gonna like go to sleep, but I figured I might as well.
I think we're gonna go to Famous Horse.
Yeah, no. I would be streaming. Normally, I would be streaming at this time, but like, I need to really take care of my health because I had some stuff going on here and there, and I needed to like make sure that everything was all good.
I feel you.
But yeah, no, seriously, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. I'm probably
Of course, anytime, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna log off at the moment. Probably gonna sleep, probably. But thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah. Have a good night, Arun.
You too.
Select the suit you wish to pilot.
Nah, there's no pressure, Mudkips. That's like what we're on here to do. You heard the man. We're on here specifically to have those types of conversations in a chill environment with people like you who want to learn. Not like learn on no like teacher-student type shit. Just like people willing to chill and listen to us have these types of conversations and engage in good faith. Participate earnestly. Because it's a lot of our lived experience and shit that's really close to us. That's what we do. Yeah, I try to keep the vibes chilling here. I truly do. Like, I know I go crazy on Twitter and it is what it is, but like, I truly try to keep the vibes chill on my streams. Yeah, I chill in VC. I'm trying to be in my own Discord more. I'm like a terrible streamer. I don't really chill in my own Discord. But I definitely look at messages from time to time.
Until the mega charge set at objective B. Prevent enemies from disarming the mega charge. Enemy down. 3 minutes remaining. Enemy flying unit inbound.
Thanks, Mr. Mongoose. Appreciate you. Thanks for keeping the vibe chill, because sometimes people try to come through fucking chat and fuck up the vibe. Shit. Shit I don't take.
The mega charge countdown is nearly complete. Second elimination confirmed.
Not behind me.
Enemy unit located.
Objective B has been destroyed. One objective remains. Destroyed. That's 4 units down.
They even trying to stop you?
Down there putting up lines. Yeah, the Horizon games I hear are really good. I haven't played any of them, but I've watched a little bit of gameplay and they're solid. Bro, I can't believe I missed that shit. The first game's on Steam, word.
Select the suit you wish to pilot.
We're active.
We've successfully captured the waypoint. Allied unit down.
They know where we are.
The enemy has captured the waypoint.
Oh my god.
We'll have to take it from here.
Hostile sighted.
This game's free, and I mean, the more you play something, the better you get at it, just from
Now for the counter.
earning.
Hostile flying site confirmed.
The mega charge countdown has begun. Defend it until the objective is destroyed.
Enemy unit located.
Ally is leading the charge. Your teammate's performance is exceptional. Select the suit you wish to pilot. Three minutes remaining.
I'll bring you back online.
Hostile sighted.
Your teammate's performance is exceptional.
Rough shape. Requesting support.
Your teammate's performance is exceptional.
They need to provide cover. You okay?
Mega charge set at objective B.
Fantastic.
Prevent enemies from disarming the mega charge. Allied unit down.
Nothing to worry about.
No fucking. Sorry, I'm not more entertaining everyone. I'm trying to fucking. I'm like beat. I'm fucking spent. Today was very emotional. Felt a lot of feels. I'm currently feeling a lot of feels. Lots of very, very big feels.
Your teammate's performance is exceptional. Select the suit you wish to pilot. Mega charge set at objective A. Prevent enemies from disarming the mega charge.
You can tell I'm sleepy. Sleepy stream.
Your ally is leading the charge.
No, it's no disrespect. No, I'm tired. That's why I'm getting ready to raid out and end because I can tell
Select the suit you wish to pilot.
I'm not my usual self. I wasn't when I started, and I just wanted, so I had to decompress a little bit and get some shit off the chest.
It's time to disarm the mega charge. The mega charge at objective A has been disarmed. The mega charge countdown has begun. With 30 seconds left in the mission. You have to place the mega charge. Mega charge countdown and mega charge set at objective A. Prevent enemies from disarming the mega charge.
Look sharp!
10 seconds remaining. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now entering overtime.
Keep up the pressure. You can't lose now. Here we go!
Successfully captured the waypoint.
Maneuver activated.
I wasted that shit.
The mega charge countdown is nearly complete. Allied unit down. The enemy is trying to disarm the mega charge.
As if we let them stop us.
Round complete.
Damn, hell yeah. I'm glad you had fun.
Select the
Glad you enjoyed the stream. Shout out to Tegma.
Please continue the mission.
Oh shit, I'm stupid.
Down, let's go!
Sorry, I was just looking at your demons. Like, I low key just want to throw. I want to throw this game so I can just go fuck to sleep, chill in the VC and talk to you.
Preparations complete. Pilots, begin your assault.
Heading out. Here we go.
Fight well, pilot.
Ow, that shit hurt it.
Enemy shields in sight.
Enemy unit down.
Allied unit down.
Damn, I didn't expect that to happen.
Can't believe
Looks like they know where we are. Looks like they're trying to find our position.
Enemy unit spotted.
Suit's not responding!
Withdraw if you need to.
Looks like they brought a shield unit. Taking heavy damage. Requesting repairs.
This should get you moving again. There. Ready to fight?
Successfully captured the waypoint.
Sighted an enemy unit! Fox is behind me!
Enemy GV active.
Look sharp!
Hostile sniper. Enemy unit spotted. Looks like a shield unit. Fine. Have hostile sight. Trigger 2 up my
1 minute. Objective A. Enemy is trying to disarm the mega charge.
Nice.
As if we let them stop us.
Nice.
We've almost completed the mission.
Enemy unit located. They brought a shield unit.
You have to take it from here.
10 seconds remaining.
Enemy unit located.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now entering overtime.
Keep up the pressure. We can't lose now. Sighted an enemy unit!
Yeah, that sucked.
Enemy unit.
Objective A has been destroyed. One objective remains.
Sighted an enemy unit!
Area attack detected.
Don't knock on me! Get out of range!
Bodied his ass too. Knocked him out his ult.
1 minute remaining.
Knocked him right out of his ult.
Here! This is the spot!
We've successfully captured the waypoint.
Setting the mega charge. Done.
Roger that!
Enemy
Can't take much more!
If you're in danger of failing this mission, push hard.
You have to take it from here.
Mega charge countdown has mega charge set at objective A. Prevent enemies from disarming the mega charge.
We need that attack now!
10 seconds remaining.
activated a G maneuver.
Look sharp!
5.
How did that miss you? What the fuck?
Now entering overtime.
How the fuck did that miss you?
Round complete.
Oh my god.
Select the suit you wish to pilot.
I just want this game to be. I'm gonna lie.
It's down! Let's go!
Are you ready? We're dropping you back in now.
Break's over, folks!
It's a
Let's go out.
5v6 now.
Ready for combat.
So let's keep it sportsmanlike, y'all. I'm in here trolling. I'm in here instigating. Let's keep it sportsmanlike.
The enemy has begun their assault.
Copy that command. We'll stop them.
Intercept as soon as they're in range.
Show us your best work, pilot.
Right behind me.
Enemy unit located.
Right behind me.
Commencing combat support.
Look at them rockets flying. That shit's crazy.
Have to take it.
Enemy unit located.
Wild.
Enemy unit spotted.
Enemy unit down.
3 minutes remaining. The enemy has captured the waypoint.
Showing an enemy G maneuver.
Looks like you could use a hand.
Looks like they know where we are.
It'd be cool with a Counter-Strike mode, like a search and destroy mode. I agree. It could be cool with that. Oh my god, really?
The enemy has placed a mega charge. The enemy has set a mega charge at objective A. Disarm the enemy mega charge. An ally is defusing the mega charge. The mega charge at objective A has been disarmed.
Enemy unit located.
2 more minutes, y'all. I don't have to. Assuming my team
The
actually.
enemy has placed a mega charge. The enemy has set a mega charge at objective A. Disarm the enemy mega charge. An ally is defusing the mega charge. The mega charge at objective B has been disarmed.
Now for the counterattack.
Anime scratch or this game scratches both those itches. Got your anime itch scratched and got your shooter game itch scratched.
The enemy has placed a mega charge.
Add some jumps to my movement, yeah.
Disarm the enemy mega charge.
The fuck?
1 minute remaining.
We might actually, they might actually blow it up this time.
Requesting repairs.
Found our location. Enemy down.
30 seconds left in the mission. You have to disarm that mega charge. That mega charge at objective A has been disarmed.
Got eyes on. Proceeding to the next.
That's the first kill I've gotten with the ult. The ult. It's been kind of. Oh my god. That piece of shit.
Now for the counterattack.
know why I just tried to do that.
Enemy unit located.
An ally is defusing the megatron. That megacharge is going to blow. Disarm it. Sighted an enemy unit.
Are you fucking kidding?
Objective A has been destroyed.
God damn it.
Okay, let's run that again.
I'm actually throwing now. Because I'm not trying to. This shit's
Allied
kinda
unit
crazy.
down.
Join up on my mark.
One minute remaining.
I was joking about throwing. Selling like shit.
Okay, let's run that again.
Area contested. The enemy has captured the waypoint. We've successfully captured the waypoint. 30 seconds left in the mission. Don't let them regroup. Defend the objective. The entire enemy squad has been annihilated.
Fantastic.
Keep this up and we'll be golden. That seemed a little too easy.
Energy maneuver.
10 seconds remaining.
Oh my god.
4, 3, 2, enemy 1. Mission complete.
There we go.
Victory is ours.
That's a W.
Another one for the
GG.
record books.
They were outclassed the
Alright.
moment they stepped
I'll catch you on Wednesday. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll know the fuck. Alright, we're gonna raid Famous Horse and I'm gonna end. Thanks, y'all. That well-known equine.